Today we're going to be talking about projectile motion. What is projectile motion? Projectile motion is the motion of an object thrown into the air, influenced only by gravity and air resistance. If it were applicable, examples: throwing a baseball, shooting a cannonball, or kicking a soccer ball, or any other examples you can think of. And just a little background information on who created projectile motion. Galileo Galilei is the one credited with the foundation work on projectile motion in the 17th century. He studied the motion of projectiles and determined that, in the absence of air resistance, they follow a curved path. Galileo's insights laid the groundwork for a modern understanding of how objects move under the influence of gravity. And just a little background information on gravity, since it's so important to projectile motion. Isaac Newton is the one credited with formulating the law of universal gravitation in the late 17th century, around the same time as Galileo. Newton's groundbreaking work explained how every particle of matter in the universe attracts every other particle with a force proportional to their masses. And then just some key components of projectile motion. Vertical motion is the influence of gravity on the vertical component of motion. Horizontal motion is the constant horizontal velocity in the absence of any horizontal forces. And just the equations of motion. So here we have horizontal motion, which is the change in distance in the x-axis equal to the initial velocity of the x-axis, which is just distance times time. And in the vertical motion, we have the change in y, or just the change in height, equal to the initial velocity times t minus 1/2 of gravity times time, and then which is squared. And just some factors affecting projectile motion. First one is initial velocity. The higher initial velocity increases projectile range, while lower velocity reduces range and projectile motion. Then we have launch angle. The launch angle affects projectile range and height. Higher angles yield greater height, while lower angles extend range. Then we have air resistance. Air resistance slows a projectile, altering its trajectory and reducing the overall range and speed. And here we just have a little picture of the trajectory of a projectile. And as you can see, that the higher the guy throws the ball, that it won't have much distance as if you were to throw a little bit lower. From the blue and yellow lines, it's just some important of understanding projectile motion. Mastering projectile motion develops essential physics concepts, enhancing comprehension of motion, forces, and gravitational effects. Understanding projectile motion is vital in engineering, sports, and design for accurate predictions and applications. And just a little conclusion. Projectile motion involves objects thrown in the air, influenced by gravity. And just some key factors of projectile motion are the initial velocity, launch angle, trajectory, and the equations, the horizontal and vertical equations that are with it. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.